There's nothing that gets Black liberals more upset with me than when I talk about the success of Black immigrants from Africa, academically, in their careers, professionally. I think Nigerian Americans are the most successful immigrant group, and I'm sitting.
Black immigrants are more successful than Black Americans because they outwork us. I said it. Now, I have seen this over and over and over again.
Why are Black Africans doing way better than African Americans?
Because it's not race. It's not race. The people that are willing to cross the Atlantic Ocean, you're already selecting for a hyper. Do you think poor people from Kenya are coming to the United States?
They are.
You think poor? No, they're not. Dude, Nigerians in the United States are the highest immigrant group of PhDs. More than white people, more than Chinese people, more than anybody else.
Hello, good people. I hope that you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from. Welcome to African Commentary, whereby we learn and grow every day. So today we are going to discuss about a very interesting debate which is online. I don't know if it's on the ground too. It is said that Black immigrants in the US are more successful than Black Americans, and majority of the people have spoken about Nigerian Americans, that these people do well, they really succeed even more than Black Americans, and we are going to learn the reasons as to why. And do you think it is true that Black immigrants succeed more than Black Americans? I don't know how true that is, but we are going to talk about that today. So if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, like and share the videos. I will really appreciate.
There's nothing that gets Black liberals more upset with me than when I talk about the success of Black immigrants from Africa, academically, in their careers, professionally. I think Nigerian Americans are the most successful immigrant group, and I'm sitting here.
This could be debatable, but the Nigerians are the most smartest people on the planet.
Right. Yeah, I believe it.
I promise you. There's nobody more smarter than the Nigerians. Now, of course, there's a few bad apples that came out. You know what I'm saying?
Smart too, though.
No, they extremely smart.
Yeah,
they just put their intelligence all in the wrong place. Right. If they would have geared that towards something more, positive and productive, because the ones that did, there's more billionaires being made in Nigeria than anywhere in the world.
Black immigrant groups have a median household income above the American average. Who are Black immigrant groups? Nigerians, Barbadians, Ghanaians, Trinidadians, all have higher incomes than the average American. And because whites are more than blacks and Hispanics, that's the factor. Third, Nigerian Americans are one of the most educated groups in America, according to a study by Rice University. They only make up 1% of African Americans, Nigerians, 1%. Yet they are represented at the Harvard Business School at a rate of 25% of Black students. So no wonder they are out earning whites, Nigerian Americans. I didn't know any of this, and I know you didn't know any of it.
Black immigrants are more successful than Black Americans because they outwork us. I said it. Now, I have seen this over and over and over again. If I'm dealing with a Black person in any sort of business capacity, you're dealing with people who do not show up on time. You're dealing with people who do not treat their business like a business. They treat it as like, some side project and, you just broke, man. And, I don't have to give you good service. I don't have to be on time. I don't have to show up like a true professional. Now, Black immigrant business owners are very different. They are very hardworking. They show up on time. They come to America with the mentality that they're going to come here and work and build something, whereas Black Americans, and yes, I am 100% foundational Black American from slaves, okay? That is how Black American I am, and I will tell you that Black Americans have a very entitled mindset. We're always waiting on somebody to do something for us. We are always waiting on government handouts. We are always waiting on somebody to do something for us. And when we get positions and when we actually have businesses, have companies or whatever, 9 times out of 10, they're run terribly. I have had some of the most terrible experiences that you can ever have when deciding to deal with Black American business owners. Now, don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate me for saying what is really real. Black immigrants are outpacing Black Americans because they outwork us.
So black immigrants that come over to the United States, basically anybody post-slavery, oppression, all that different stuff, come in here dirt poor. I mean, have less money than you could imagine. I'm talking about they get here with $0 and they got to figure out a job. And they all move into the ghetto with other black people. So at that point, the playing field has been leveled. They're both impoverished blacks. No one cares where they came from. How come the immigrant blacks have a staggeringly higher success rate than American blacks? When they're both have the same skin color, they're both living in the same circumstances, and apparently they're both targeted by the system the same. Everyone wants to tell me it's not mindset. Mindset can't change. Mindset can't fix this problem. Then why are certain cultural differences in black people making them successful and certain cultural traits in black people are making them not successful? It's not the skin color we need to change. It's the mindset behind the skin color.
What is it about Nigerians that do so well in this country? That's one of the things. If you look at like Nigerian immigrants, like successful ratios of different immigration groups, Nigerians in particular are extraordinarily successful upon immigrating to America.
Yeah, I think it's a family thing. It's like when our families decide and we get the opportunity to move to a better place.
Right.
The thing is that the whole persona is we're going to be able to sustain this forever. So my kids are not going to just play around in sports because that's not guaranteed.
Right.
What is guaranteed is the fact that you're going to go to school and you're going to become a doctor because you're going to get a job anywhere in the world that you want. That's why majority of them are doctors.
Right.
Majority of them doctors, engineers, because these are jobs that high demand jobs. You're always going to get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
And so that's all we push. You're going to be a doctor or you're going to be an engineer. None of them are saying you're going to be a professional athlete. My parents, hell no. They didn't care for that. Like, I lied to them the first couple of years that I was wrestling. I didn't tell them that. You know, my brother is a doctor in pharmacy in Dallas. My little brother, you know, could have gotten the NFL. He was a stellar football player. Played at the University of Houston and University of Arizona. You know, my sister now is in college. She's in nursing school in college. Like, that's just what we push. We want you to get a job that you can provide for your family forever.
Yeah, they remind me of Koreans in a lot of ways. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, super hardworking and appreciate once they've gotten to a place like America where there really is no ceiling on the possibility. You could do anything you want once you get here if you work hard.
Absolutely.
People who are immigrant are willing to work so much harder.
Do you guys hear that?
They already know they work so much harder than people who are raised in the U.S. People who grew up here don't want to work as hard. For some reason, they feel entitled, and it's an issue that I have even with my own employees. And it sucks because I have to then look for foreigners to work for me because they just work so much harder and they don't look at the clock. Oh, I clocked out. Right now it's 5 o'clock. I clocked out. I don't answer the phone anymore. I'm at my lunch. Please don't bother me.
Why are black Africans doing way better than African Americans?
Because
it's not race.
The people
it's
that
not race.
The people that are willing to cross the fucking Atlantic Ocean, you're already selecting for a hyper. Do you think poor people from Kenya are coming to the United States?
They are.
You think poor? No, they're not. Dude, Nigerians in the United States are the highest immigrant group of PhDs. More than white people, more than Chinese people, more than anybody else. Some of your most highly educated groups of people in the United States are people from Kenya, are people from Nigeria. The experience of an African immigrant in the United States is way different than the experience of an African American. If you're an African immigrant, you might as well be white or fucking European.
What?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Just what part of that do you understand? If you're an African immigrant coming to the United States, your outcomes in life, the places that you live, the education you have, you're more on par with an upper-class white person than you are with a person who's a descendant of
the biggest difference is the mindset. It's not the circumstances,
it's not the mindset.
environment.
It's the families that you come from. Somebody that comes from a family that's driven enough to get their children or themselves to move to the United States from Africa, this is a highly driven family. This is a lot different than somebody whose great-grandparents weren't allowed to buy a house in the city because they were redlined out by a bank in the United States.
Highly driven is a mindset.
Bro, literally speaking, I get what you're saying, but you can't say that because people might get inspired from watching a TV show. You don't know why they came here. So you can't really say that.
No, but I'm saying you're selecting for the people that were inspired enough to come over.
Nigerians come here and Indians come here and so many people who are not white who are supposed to be discriminated against because they're not white, they come here and they become doctors and lawyers. Why? Because to your point, there's community. There's a sense of pride about, you know what, I got to go honor my parents back in Nigeria.
Why immigrants are more successful than you. Now, here's the thing. Immigrants come to this country usually leaving everything behind, usually enduring hardships, usually just bearing the clothes on their backs and perhaps a couple of suitcases, crossing the borders, coming in boats, coming in airplanes, whichever way, but they're starting over in a new country with a new language, with a new culture, without knowing anyone. And guess what? Immigrants are the highest percentage of millionaires in the entire United States. Now, why is that? It's because when you come to a new country, you have to have some grit. You have to have some, you come here to make your dreams come true. When you already grown up in this country, you become soft. Right? You're used to all the social services. You're used to all the different things that are being offered. You just have certain expectations. You come as an immigrant, you don't take anything for granted. You earn every dime that you've ever made in your life. You come up here, you just start things because guess what? You have no other freaking option. That's what you want. You want to show your people back home that you've made it. You want to show the world that you can make it on there. You want to have the haters that in your back country said, oh, that's too risky. You shouldn't do that. Because again, the people in the home countries are weak too. It's the people that grew up in a country with the expectations that already everything is there for them. That's the weak people. That's why the immigrants are successful. They come to this country with absolutely nothing, with absolutely no barriers, with absolutely nobody to tell them they can't do it, and they're making things happen. Be like an immigrant, because the thing is, everyone can do this. You don't have to be weak. You can be strong. You just need to adopt some of the immigrant mentality, move away from home, move out of the basement, move somewhere else where nobody knows you, and just start from scratch and just build your freaking empire. You can do it.
Black immigrants always ask the question, why are we more successful than the Black Americans who have been here for centuries, even though we come with nothing and they have all the resources? And it's simple. It's the history of slavery and racism. Like, Black Americans have inherited the trauma of slavery and all of the consequences and the negative effects that it has on the Black community from centuries to centuries. So grandmother passes on to mother, to children, to grandchildren. Like, they pass it on from generation to generation, as compared to us Black immigrants. We come to this country with a whole different lens, and we didn't grow up under the racial system, so race was never an issue, your skin color was never an issue, and we come from majority Black countries, and we have these very high expectations. Our parents have high expectations of us, and so your parents will never tell you, just be careful, you're Black. That's never a conversation. It's always, you can be whatever you want to be. All you have to do is work hard. Don't let anything or anyone stop you from being successful. If you want to be successful, you can be successful. So I feel like it's a whole different mindset. Like, we have different mindsets. Like, we are benefiting from all the work that was done in the past by Black Americans to allow Blacks to work free, but we don't have the trauma. We don't have all the negative consequences that is passed down from generation to generation, because we never had to experience that.
Black Americans, this is not to bash you or to compare or maybe criticize you, but it's just what people are saying, and I'd love to hear from you guys. Is it true that Black immigrants are successful more, or they're having a higher income than you guys? People on the media, social media, are saying that, you see, Black Americans are lazy, they got it all. For Black immigrants, when they move from their countries coming to the United States of America, they just have one goal, which is to work hard and help their families back at home and help themselves. But for Black Americans, apparently they say that you guys just love being in the victimhood and complaining about the system, but you're not working. Even some people say that they better work, or maybe if they have businesses, they better employ Black immigrants rather than employ Black Americans to work for them, because these people, Black immigrants, are more hardworking. They know that at the end of the day, this is what I came here for. They might not pay attention or spend much of their time looking at the way things are in the US, maybe in terms of racism, discriminations. They don't care. They just want the cash. So they will do whatever they can to get the cash, and they don't mind about time. For Black Americans, that when it is time, we just like, no, it's my time now to go home, and I don't care about the work. But for these Black immigrants, they would rather work more hours to earn more, so as to achieve their goals, to achieve their dreams. So let me know, Black Americans, is this true, or it is just what it appears to be, but it is not on the ground? One of the reasons as to why we can say Black immigrants are successful in the US, it's because immigration selects highly motivated and highly educated people. Many black immigrants come to the US through visa system which favor college degrees, specialized skills, and professional experience. This means that the US receives a filtered group, people who already had education or resources before arriving. At some point this is true because it's so hard to move from your country to go to the US. It's so hard to move into the United States of America, and you have to have something. You need to have something that will enable you to get there quickly, or maybe to be chosen. You see, it might be education wise, maybe you have some degrees, it might be skills wise, you have some skills which you're going to use over there, or any other professional experience. It's so hard for these people to choose just any other person, like a random person who has no degrees, you have no papers, you have no skills. It's so hard for these people to choose you to move to the US, or even to accept you to move into their country, because they want people who are going to promote their country, who are going to promote the economic status of their country, not just people who are going to fill the place doing nothing, maybe just sleeping on the streets and increasing the number of street people. This might be an advantage to black immigrants over black Americans, because you see, we have black Americans who are also qualified, who are also educated, but they might not get the chance to work in certain places in the US, unlike black immigrants who will come from here with their degrees, go over there and add more on their education, you get. And also the people are saying that Nigerian Americans are the ones who are most successful. I don't know, they are the most successful immigrant group in the US. That might be true, because I see a lot of Nigerian Americans online, and they have different occupations, like different professional work that they do. Another point I would love to speak about, I think it's the environment where you grow up in that shapes you, that shapes how successful you're going to be. You see, for most black Americans, they live in a place where it's so hard for them. It's hard being black in America, but they're trying all their best to do what they can do to just live comfortably, to do their daily usual activities. But for black immigrants, they come, let's say for example, those who come from Africa, they have also undergone some suffering. Maybe if they come from a low income family, low earning income family, and they get this opportunity to come to the US, you see right now they will come with expectations, and also their parents, their family will have these high expectations of them that they must succeed. They do not have any other option but to go to the United States no matter what and succeed. So as much as black immigrants might also face racism, they might also face oppression, most of their goal is just to succeed. So they will endure all this just in order to make their families happy, to at least help their families. But for black Americans, they might have a choice that if this is not working for me, I am going to move to another place, I'm going to move to another continent and try over there, you get. But for black immigrants, once one have decided that I'm going to move from, let me use the example Africa, I'm going to move from Africa to go abroad and study and maybe find a job that will help me help my people, there is no going back. Especially for African parents, you can't just disappoint them by going to the US and coming back empty-handed. As long as you have gotten the chance to go over there, all they expect from you is success. So black immigrants have no other choice but to succeed and to help their parents, to help their families and people who they left behind. I can say that comparing black Americans and black immigrant success is not a fair comparison, because you know what, black Americans have spent much of their time trying to rebuild themselves in a place where they're not needed, they're not wanted. You see, they have a lot that they have been undergoing, and we have these people, black immigrants, who just came in and found everything laid out for them. As much as they're starting from scratch, it is not as hard as for them like for Black Americans. Black Americans have gone through a lot in order to get to where the US is right now. The Black Americans have laid a foundation for Black immigrants, for all Black people in the US. So this comparison is not fair, because at the end of the day, we are both Black. We should be uplifting one another and not comparing that this group is successful more than the others. Because you know what, as much as Black immigrants are successful, they're still working for a nation that is not theirs. At some point they'll be needed to go back home, to go back to where they came from. So let people work, let people succeed, but they shouldn't let it get over their head that this group is successful over the other group. At the end of the day, we are both Black people. We both need each other for us to succeed all together, because there is no point in one group succeeding over the other, and we are both one people, same people. We still need each other in whatever that we do. So just to conclude on this shouldn't be a competition between Black immigrants and Black Americans. Both groups have talents, both groups are hardworking, both groups are under a system that does not like them, that does not treat them well. So even if Black immigrants are succeeding, they are working for a system that is not theirs. They are promoting a nation that is not theirs. And it will be later when they discover that, you know what, all our effort, all the skills that we have been putting into this nation, we are going to just leave everything here and go back home. So instead of holding this debate of which group is better, which one is more successful, we should challenge the systems that hold both groups back, because at the end of the day, Black people, we are not where we want to be. We are still behind. We are still not where we are needed to be as a nation, as a group of Black people. So I would urge that for those Black people living in the US, whether you are a Black American, whether you're a Black immigrant, from wherever place you come from, try as much as you can to work together with other Black people. Stop spending time on gossiping, judging each other, competing with each other. I think there's no time for that. All you need is the cash. So if you work together, guys, like for Black Americans can help Black immigrants on how to maneuver around, and the other way around, Black immigrants can add some skills to Black Americans. So it is a two-way thing. So guys, let me stop here. Let me know your thoughts about this whole video. Do you think it's really helpful when these groups fight, especially Black people? Is it really worth it? Is it worth our efforts, our time, you see, fighting each other on who is more successful? So let's stop promoting the stereotypes that this group is lazy, the other group is soft, the other group is hardworking. Like, let's work in unity, and unity is strength. So let's meet in the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I will really appreciate it. Bye.